Everyone knows that death will come. We know it logically. We've seen it around us. We've lost people. Yet no human being is ever mentally prepared for it. Think about life. We accept everything in life. We accept failure. We accept pain. We even accept uncertainty. But death, we cannot accept it. You can imagine losing money. You can imagine losing your job. You can imagine starting from zero again. But you cannot imagine losing your existence itself. And that is why death becomes the greatest fear the human mind ever experiences. Science has answers about evolution, about the universe, about the brain, about the body. But there is one question science cannot answer. What happens to you after death? Think deeply. Every religion exists because people fear death. Every spiritual teaching exists because people fear death. Even morality exists because humans want protection from death. So today, we are not asking what death is. We are asking something much deeper. Why can the human mind not mentally accept real death? Not the death of the body. That's easy to understand, but death of identity. Because when you understand death of identity, you will never see life the same way again. The human body is not scared of death. Your body actually accepts death every single moment. Think about it. Your skin cells die every few weeks. Your red blood cells die every 4 months. Certain immune cells die in hours. Your brain loses cells every day. Your body does not panic. Your body doesn't resist that. So where does the fear begin? Because what you fear is not biological death. You fear the disappearance of your identity. Your mind fears the ending of your story. Ending of your personality, your memories, your relationships, your significance. Death threatens psychological existence, not physical existence. That's where fear truly begins. Try something right now. Imagine yourself dead. Pause for a while. What do you see? Do you see darkness? Do you see silence? Do you see stillness? Or maybe some kind of floating sensation. Here's what actually happened. Even when you imagined darkness, you imagined yourself inside that darkness. Meaning, you still existed. You were still observing something. So even when you visualize your own absence, you imagine it as if you are present, watching your absence. This is the paradox. You can imagine someone else dying. You can visualize their funeral, their body, their absence. But you cannot imagine your own absence without pretending that you are still there to imagine it. Because imagination requires someone who imagines, and death is the absence of that someone. So the mind logically rejects death. Not because it is emotional, but because your mind cannot mentally simulate non-existence. The brain simply has no experience of you not being there. So your brain refuses to accept the idea of your own absence. The fear of death is not random. It is evolution's greatest survival tool. Every living organism that feared death survived longer, protected itself, became more alert, and continued its species. Humans, however, evolved further. We understood death consciously. We imagined death. We anticipated death. And that made fear extremely powerful. And the fear was helpful. Fear shaped intelligence. Fear built cooperation. Fear built morality. Fear built families. Fear built society. For every species, death is irreversible, unknown, final, unpredictable, and uncontrollable. Evolution does not like things that are uncontrollable, so fear stayed permanently. Look at any religion in the world. All religions talk about death. If humans were not scared of death, heaven would not exist. Hell would not exist. Afterlife wouldn't be needed. Karma wouldn't matter. Rebirth wouldn't exist. Judgment wouldn't exist. All belief systems have one foundational promise. You will not disappear. Religion says you will continue. Spirituality says you will return. Philosophy says you are eternal consciousness. But underneath all of that is one emotional truth that humans have hidden within them. I don't want to stop existing. So humanity invented something beyond death. Not necessarily truth, but psychological reassurance. Which is why beliefs matter so deeply. Religions and beliefs protect us from the unbearable truth of not existing anymore. Ego says, I matter. My story matters. My identity matters. I should be remembered. I should leave something behind. Death breaks that completely. Death says, you are not special. You are not permanent. You will be erased. And think carefully. Even if thousands love you today, within the next 120 years, no one alive will know you existed. Nobody will know your voice. Nobody will know your dreams. Nobody will know your personality. Your identity dissolves faster than people imagine. So the mind invents legacy, fame, purpose, afterlife identity, soul continuity. Not because they're true, but because the mind cannot tolerate being irrelevant. Humans cannot emotionally handle meaningless death. So we turn the idea of death into something purposeful. Good people go to heaven. Bad people are punished. Death becomes transformation. Death becomes liberation. Death becomes rebirth. These meaning makes our death feel softer. These meaning gives our death a direction. These meaning turns this ending into continuation. Without meaning, death becomes randomness. And randomness is terrifying. So the mind chooses meaning, even when the truth is unknown, because meaning gives us something to hold on to, when reality offers nothing to hold. Now listen carefully. Humans do not really fear death. Humans fear disappearing. Humans fear the loss of identity. And this identity is nothing but memory, attachment, experience, ego, and story. Death removes all of it. Not physically, but psychologically. Death is not painful. Death is silent. Death is erasing. Death is dissolution. Life ends for everyone, but death ends your narrative. And the mind simply cannot handle that silence. If death did not exist, religion wouldn't exist. Purpose wouldn't exist. Legacy wouldn't exist. Morality wouldn't exist. Your fear isn't about the process of death. Your fear is not about the physical pain you might undergo during the process of dying. You don't fear the moment of death. Your fear is about not being present after it. You fear a world that continues without you inside it. You fear life continuing without your name, your voice, and your presence. The mind cannot digest its own absence. The human mind was never designed to imagine itself gone.